Hey everybody, my name is Brady Simpson. I'm the founder and CEO of Simtek. So one of the coolest things about Simtek and our products is that it watches your stuff at the micro level, and it really gives you peace of mind to know exactly when somebody's getting in your stuff. So I wanted to create this video to help you understand exactly how your product works and go over some of the general tips, hacks, and operations. So we designed the Simtek Duo to be simple, reliable, and performant. And it is all of those things. It's pretty self-explanatory, most of this stuff. But we wanted to give you a little bit more depth on some of the pro tips to using it with your safe and your other spaces, and just generally cover the product and its features. So when you get your device, it's going to come in a box similar to this. And as you unbox it, you'll see several different accessories that we've got in the packaging. So one thing to note, scanning and getting your device set up with your phone is super easy. If you've ever scanned a QR code, you'll be fine. As you make your way through the box, you can please feel free to check out the quick start guide, which I won't go over now, and take a look at all the other stuff that we've got in here. We've included a micro USB cable so that you can easily recharge your Simtek Duo just about once a year if you alert 10 per month. So 10 alerts per month gets you over a year of battery life. You may have to charge it a little bit more if you're using it much more frequently. So it comes with a lithium battery, which is a CR123. And you can recharge that, as I mentioned. And then we also give you 2 sticky mounts. So if you'd like to mount your Simtek Duo inside of your safe or in a closet or really anywhere, these are Velcro and 3M, so they're really good. The last thing that you'll see in here is a wired external antenna. So this antenna has a magnetic base, which allows you to stick it on anything magnetic like a safe. And it also has a pretty long cable length, so you can route it outside if you need to. So one thing to note about the wired antenna, always hook it up and plug it into your device on the first boot up. That's because on the first system boot up, it needs the best signal strength to find every network in your area and pick the best one. So that's a little bit about the packaging. Let's spend a little bit of time talking about the specific features of the device. So I've got a white one back here that I want to show you a couple specific things about. So this dome is the passive infrared motion sensor. So this is where all of the motion gets detected. The light window under here, this clear window, is where the light sensor is. So one cool hack that you guys might want to try out is if you want to only detect motion, simply use some black tape and cover that light sensor window. It's a little bit hacky right now, and in the future we may be able to let you toggle that on and off, but one cool thing to do is place a sticker right over there to make it a motion sensing device. Now, speaking of motion sensor, this blue LED lights up anytime motion is detected, but we do not have an LED that lights up when light is detected. And that's because most of the time when you're looking at the device, you're actually in a lighted environment. And you'll see right under the motion LEDs, we've actually got these network LEDs. These light up with green and red during alert transmission. On the other side, we've got the micro USB input to recharge your battery. And then on the back, we have the antenna input as well as the SIM card ejection. Don't take out your SIM card unless we instruct you to do so for whatever reason, because it's really easy to put it in the wrong way, upside down, backwards, and you would have no idea based on the lights or anything like that. So it's something that you shouldn't really have to deal with at all, but we do give the option of removing that SIM card if, for example, you choose not to use the SIM card that we provide you guys. but we definitely recommend contacting us if that's the case. So you notice I've got a safe here. I want to talk to you about how you can best operate the Simtek Duo inside your safe. So one thing to do anytime you're using the product is always test it. Test it wherever you're going to use it, whether that's a drawer, a closet, a trunk, a storage unit, a boat, wherever you are, make sure you're testing your product and getting those alerts on your phone, and that way you'll know what's happening. So how I use it in my safe, and this is my safe, I brought it out here to demonstrate. I actually use the wired antenna because my house has really poor signal, just really poor signal everywhere. And then I actually put it as close to the gap in the safe as possible. So if you can see that again, I've got the wired antenna with a magnetic base, and it's going right up near the door of my safe. And it's near the gap, it's near the seam. And the reason why you do that is because that's the best place to get signal out of the safe. Now, if that doesn't work, you can actually untangle your antenna and then potentially string it outside of the safe, maybe through the front, or in this case, there's actually a hole in the back where I can easily string this through. So that's one option. And you noticed when I closed the safe, it's actually starting to trigger. So you can see the red and green lights flickering. That means it's in its alert transmitting mode. One thing to note about the transmissions, you should be receiving alerts in around 20 seconds or 30 seconds. If they're taking a lot longer, that could mean you don't really have great service. And you should test different areas, and you should test different antenna angles. Speaking of antennas, and I just got the alert down here on my phone. Speaking of antennas, there's actually an internal onboard antenna with every device. So technically, it's going to work just like this if you put it in the safe or in your luggage or anywhere that you need to monitor. But we always recommend testing it first so you understand the signal strength and understand that you're going to be getting that alert every single time. Alright, so let's talk about why the Simtek Duo is super reliable. So first of all, it's in a passive state. This means that the device is basically sleeping until it detects either light or motion. And let's talk about the motion detection for a minute and what is so interesting about it. So it uses what's called passive infrared motion. This means that in order to detect motion, it has to see either human heat or animal heat or some sort of heat that is in motion. And that makes it really reliable because you could put this in a piece of luggage or in a safe or in a drawer and bump into it, and it would not send you a false alarm. Only if you physically opened that luggage, physically opened that container, that safe, would it detect your motion and alert you. So that's one really cool thing. There should be no false alarms. The second cool thing about the motion sensor is that it doesn't actually detect through glass. So what does that mean? Well, you could put this in your car, and until somebody opened the door physically, it would not alert you. You could have somebody walking by and seeing the product. You could have somebody walking by a glass jewelry case where the product is inside, hovering over it, waving next to it. Unless that space is physically breached and it detects human or animal infrared motion, it's not going to alert you. So it's super reliable in that way. With the light, it detects any visible light. Right now, you can't customize the sensitivity, but in future products, we may develop that. And I think I mentioned this before, but one pro tip, if you want to turn it into a pure motion sensing device, just simply cover the light sensor window with some black tape. It won't affect performance, and it will turn your device into essentially a motion sensing alarm that can be deployed anywhere in the world and not worry about Wi-Fi and not worrying about power, which is pretty cool. So that's some interesting things about the sensors. Let's talk a little bit about the app and what you can expect from that. So on the app, there are some really cool features that are kind of hidden. So the first thing that you're going to want to know about is the low battery alerts. If your device starts getting to a critical battery point, we will proactively send you a message on your phone right through our app and tell you to recharge it. You don't have to trigger the device. You don't have to open the app. We will proactively send you that. Another cool thing about the app is if you have somebody else subscribing to your device, let's say a spouse or a roommate, and they also want to get alert notifications, you will get alerted whenever somebody gets subscribed to your device. So if I want my wife subscribed to my Simtek device in my safe, she simply has to go through the same setup process. You cannot subscribe somebody from your device. Only on their phone can you subscribe somebody. So they will have to go through the same setup and you'll get notified. And this is for security reasons, because we want you to know if anybody is getting on your alerts. So they have to set up from their phone, and they also have to remove themselves from your device from their phone. So those are all for security reasons. Imagine if you had a son or a daughter and they wanted to get inside where all the money was stored and simply remove you from your own device. That can't happen. All right, one cool thing about the app is looking at the location of each alert. So you simply tap on an alert in the activity log, and then it'll bring up the location of your device. If you see location not found, that could be an indication that you don't really have great signal. It's location triangulation and not GPS. So it's not as nearly as accurate, but it's great for a vicinity and understanding if something is still in the area. In my experience, it's been about 50 meters to the accuracy. Not bad, not perfect, but it depends on the cellular tower coverage in your area. If you're in a higher density network area, the location triangulation should be a lot better. Whereas if you're in a really rural area, the location tracking might not be as useful. But it's still a cool, nice added bonus feature. If somebody takes off with your safe or your boat or something else, you might be able to track it down, corroborating that evidence with other evidence out in the field. All right, so if we have any bugs or anything that we'd like to release new features wise, we're gonna probably do that what's called over the air. So here's what we're gonna need you to do so that you can receive those updates. First, plug in that external antenna if it's not already in there. This will ensure that you've got the best signal possible because you need to download a big file from our server. Then, make sure your battery is fully charged. Insert the battery and wait until your device is in idle mode. This means that it's not in a transmitting state. You cannot update your device while it is already alerting. The way you know that it is not in an alert state is by simply looking at the side of the device and seeing that there's no red or green lights blinking. So while we're on the side of the device with the motion hand icon and the GSM network icon, you're going to notice a very small hole to the right of those LEDs. Grab a pin or some other really small piece of hardware so that you can go in there and press the button once. When you do this, the green and red LEDs are going to light up for about 10 minutes or so. Let it do its thing and do not remove the battery and do not touch it until it has finished. It could be as quick as 5 minutes, it could be as long as 15. If it's any shorter or any longer, that could mean there's a problem and you might want to contact us to figure it out. Now, if for some reason the over-the-air update doesn't work, we've got lots of fallback firmware so that your device never gets into a non-functioning state. So you can rest assured that everything is going to be working all the time. All right, let's talk about the Simtek app and what you can expect. So first of all, it's on both Android and iOS, as I mentioned. And beyond just subscribing yourself, you can also subscribe your spouse, your roommates, a neighbor, anyone you want. And there's no limit to the number of people that can subscribe to your device to get alerts. For security reasons, everybody has to subscribe to your device from their phone. Managing your Simtek devices is super easy. You just do it right through the app. And if you've got more than one, you simply swipe through to see all of your alerts and manage all of your devices. It couldn't be easier. We're continuously updating the app and we're launching new features all the time. Really quickly, all right, let's do that again. One, you could put it inside of a car and it's not gonna, cut that real quick. I wish we had one of those little things so that we... In every alert, you can get a location... fuck this. I'm gonna cut that last piece out.